A biome is an area that is defined by the species which are found within that particular area. A biome can also be determined by temperature, location, soil type, and weather. However, an ecosystem is the relations between living and non-living organisms within biomes. These relations through organisms can be shown through soil minerals, weather patterns in and around the area. A biome can hold many different types of ecosystems within its area. Where a biome can be found, it can be usually traced back to what climate it is in that particular area of the world. If it is a cold climate, it may be harder for some vegetation, usually found in tropical or temperate forests and grasslands, to grow in colder climates. However, some plants are able to cope with the long winters in colder climates, as the soil has the right amount of moisture and nutrients for that species. The Northern Kimberley bioregion is located in Northern Kimberley in Western Australia. The landscape mostly consists of deciduous plateaus, gorges and rugged coasts. Vegetation is made up of tall grasses and savanna woodlands. The bioregion is mostly Aboriginal land or cattle grazing.
These are the statistics and facts we've collected on the Northern Kimberley bioregion. The first lot of statistics is the mean maximum temperature, the mean minimum temperature, the mean rainfall, the decile rainfall, and the mean number of days of rain. The next group is the endangered fauna and the declared rare and priority flora for this area. The deductions that I can make from these statistics are that the Kimberley is a very humid and hot place. It gets more rain in summer than in winter, but there really aren't the standard seasons and more just the wet and dry seasons. Kimberley has more mammals than other animals, but birds and reptiles are the ones that flourish the most. These deductions are true, and I know this because of the research that I have done and because the sites that I used are very reliable. This bioregion is important to the environment as it houses a large number of endangered animals and provides a relatively safe environment for them to live in, as it is a protected area and entry is very restricted and monitored. It also plays a role in the marine environments as it houses many estuarine species of fish, and this place is called crocodile infested for a reason. This region is also housing for many plant species that can grow nowhere else, and in so doing this, it makes more species and variation in a species, which makes that species stronger and just stronger.
How is the Northern Kimberley region valued? The Kimberley region is valued by more than 30 Aboriginal tribes. More than 60,000 years ago, people from modern Indonesia settled in the Kimberley region. Throughout the region, you can find many traces of Aboriginals, such as rock art. The Kimberley region also provides a lot of geological and fossil evidence of Australia's evolutionary history. One problem facing the Northern Kimberley region in Western Australia is extensive cattle farming. This is harmful to the landscape as the cattle disturb the fragile soil and small vegetation. The Northern Kimberley region nearly found itself as a land of mining and gas companies' factories. Lucky these factories' plans didn't end up going through to the building stage, and the Northern Kimberley region is still mostly untouched throughout the Aboriginal heritage landscape. Kimberley is one of the oldest settlements in Australia and was actually settled by Aboriginals over 60,000 years ago. When Europeans arrived in the mid-19th century, they used the wide open Kimberley grasslands to drive cattle farms. Aboriginals did something called fire stick farming. This involved burning areas of land. Over time, the land there adapted and became fire resistant. Natural threats to the bioregion. Some of the introduced animals are the feral pig, feral cat, horse, wild dog, and donkey. Horses and donkeys are eating large areas of fields which are meant for the cattle. This has an impact on farmers. Feral cats hunt birds and can carry infectious diseases. Wild dogs are pests for farmers and can hunt and kill chickens and other small animals. The feral pigs trample and dig for parts of plants and bugs. They also compete with native animals for food and prey on various species and their eggs. The invasive plants in the area are the callitrope, raider grass, sicklepod, golden dodder, and hyptis. The weeds have an effect on farmers' land and cattle grazing. Callitrope grows in dense thickets and reduces cattle grazing and access to water. Calotropin can also cause stress in cattle and cause them to die from poisoning. Greater grass invades pastures and grassland and replaces native plants. Sickle pod can rapidly infest crops and many other areas. Golden dodder is a parasitic plant. The Hyptis is unpalatable to livestock and takes over native pastures.